Not only are we excited to reach New Mexico, our 8th state of this trip, we are also excited about visiting places we have never seen before. Our destination for today is Roswell, New Mexico, point I on our travel map. We spot Bottomless Lakes State Park on our map and make plans to stay there for the next 2 nights. From there, we stop in Ruidoso, New Mexico, about 70 miles west of Roswell, and halfway to Las Cruces, which is point A on our travel map. We are still in the high plains as we leave Lubbock. We still have many miles of open country on our drive through Texas, and we crossed the border into New Mexico, just west of Bronco, Texas. The small towns in New Mexico continue with a look and feel of the West. We have generally partly cloudy skies today. What we didn't know at the time was that the clouds were hiding emerging smoke from a very large wildfire just northwest of Roswell. We're getting closer to our destination for the day, and we are getting a bit road weary, so the sign for Roswell was a welcome sign indeed. As we approach town, alien and UFO artifacts appear everywhere. Of course, we couldn't resist. What self-respecting tourist would not stop in to see the UFO Museum in the center of town?
Museum and Research Center.
She was just 17 years old. Her father died. She was plunged into a...
Look, cakes and donuts, and there's a UFO guy,
donuts?
an alien eating a donut.
We find a spot to park our spaceship and head in. We also stop for a selfie on the sidewalk in front of the museum entrance, and this guy shows up. There are aliens everywhere. Once inside, we are surrounded by many strange visitors pointing us to historical information about Roswell. Is that a working flying saucer? Next stop on the tour is a stasis chamber holding a preserved alien. And an operating room where scientists are presumably attempting to dissect the hapless visitor. Of course, under the watchful eye of a government official. The last stop must be the Hall of Fame of aliens. What fun. Interestingly, as we were approaching Roswell earlier in the day, we observed a very large jet aircraft performing astonishing maneuvers over the Roswell Airport, south of town. We leave the aliens behind to see if we can identify this real-life UFO. It turns out Boeing is flight testing the new 777-9, a 425-passenger, long-range plane, amazing maneuvers. Well, enough flying objects for one day. We head out of town and on over to Bottomless Lakes State Park and to our campsite for the next 2 nights. We find our camping spot and enjoy dinner looking at a hazy sunset over Lee Lake, the largest of the bottomless lakes. New Mexico's first state park takes its name from 9 small, deep lakes that are actually sinkholes, located along the eastern side of the Pecos River Valley. Their blue color gives the illusion that they are bottomless. In fact, they range in depths from 17 to 90 feet. We spend the next day exploring several of these lakes, hiking nature trails that go out into the surrounding desert terrain. It's nice to have a couple of days off from driving. Bottomless Lakes is our first desert camping location on this trip, the first of many to come. We were pleasantly surprised. The early season temperature was mild, and we looked forward to what lay ahead, the vast desert southwest. The following morning, we head out with overcast skies threatening rain. The desert landscape stretches out for miles, quite mesmerizing. We take U.S. Route 70 and stop for a rest in the town of Ruidoso Downs. This is a big horse town with its own horse racing track. There we also find the Hubbard Museum of the West. Established in 1992, the museum houses the Anne C. Stradling collection of authentic buggies and wagons, equestrian items, and various Native American and Western art. Unfortunately, the museum is closed due to COVID, but we take a stroll through a large, beautiful sculpture garden. In 1995, the Hubbards commissioned artist Dave McGarry to create a large horse sculpture. Free Spirits at Noisy Waters is what it's called, and has a total length of 255 feet, depicting 7 breeds of horses, each statue weighing 3,000 to 5,000 pounds each. Museum attendance doubled after the unveiling of these horse statues to more than 55,000 visitors in 1999. In the year 2000, the Hubbard Museum of the West became the first New Mexico museum to be affiliated with the Smithsonian Institute. Well, that's it for today. Time to move on. Our next stop will be Las Cruces, with a stop to visit White Sands National Park along the way. See you in the next episode.